Hello, and here we are at Soulard Market. And who we have today is Mr. Tom Norton, who works here. And Tom, tell us a little bit about Soulard Market and what's it like and the do's and don'ts.
Well, for one thing, it's the oldest farmers market west of the Mississippi. General Grant sold firewood here.
I did not know that.
Yes, he did. So there's a long treasured history of this market, and the city now is fighting to preserve it like all of us here. And business is good, but it's always a challenge,
sure,
as anything else is in this world. But we enjoy it. We've been over here over 5 years. We serve Cajun food, jambalaya, gumbo, and Bloody Marys. And so we've got quite a following here, and we appreciate it.
Oh. Well, this building itself, do you know how old this building is? Or any idea?
Well, I don't. I know there was a fire in the early 1900s here, and so the original structure burned down, and so this was rebuilt, I want to say 1926, somewhere in that area. Yeah.
So this is from 1926,
yes,
I guess.
It is. Yes, it is. And so these outdoor hallways that you see are kind of part of the initial structure.
Okay.
And they've been improved upon over the last few years.
And Mom, what do you know about Soulard Market?
Here, I read 1779
yes,
that Antoine Pierre Soulard.
Right.
He had a pretty name, Antoine Pierre,
right,
and of course was French. However, he was sent here by the Spanish government because he was tired, fed up with the French Revolution, so he moved to Spain, and he came here as a surveyor.
That's right, yeah.
And he had 2 city blocks and had everything. Spices he sold, and of course fruits and vegetables, flowers. And he was in business. It was your corner grocery store, so to speak.
Right. And when he passed away, it became his wife's, and she had to fight a long time.
That's right.
To get control of the property because women could not hold property at that time. So when she passed away, she gave this to the city with the intention that it would remain a farmer's market. And so that's how really it kind of generated after that. But she's really been a significant part of it. In fact, her birthday is in late August. We celebrated here.
Really?
Yeah, there's a picture of her in there.
Okay.
Now, what days are you open here?
We're open 4 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay, and then what hours?
About 8 to 5.
And her name was Julia Cerre, C-E-R-R-E. I think there's a street named after her.
Yes, there is. Right. Yeah.
I never knew that, though. Women could not hold property or have property.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's
Even after the Revolution, the French said,
yes,
well, equality, fraternity, liberty, but not for women.
Yes.
so the women's suffrage, 1919. That's really when it came about.
Well, yeah, it was long after the French Revolution. The French Revolution was 1789.
But this has been here 250 years as a business.
That's right. Yeah. And my family and I, we took it over from the Schmidts, and we've had it for about 5 years, and so we're running it now.
And you sell Cajun food.
Yes, we do. Pat, my brother Pat, he's our chef. He had Norton's in Soulard for many years. He sold that, and then we bought this little smaller version down here. Yeah.
Norton's Cajun Corner.
Yes.
I guess if you need to get some good Cajun food, this is a place to go.
Well, it helps that you can't buy this stuff on the internet.
That's right. You can order this.
You can order on the internet.
Right.
But Amazon.com isn't going to sell Cajun food, fresh Cajun food.
Right.
But they'll deliver it to you.
Well, not
Close.
fresh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe 2 days later you'll get it.
But it's still a vibrant neighborhood.
It
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
This neighborhood is there's
It's
a
funny
lot of
the things that are
activities.
sold here. Now they sell, I saw rabbits here.
Yes,
Yeah,
there are still some live animals that are sold here. There are some geese and some chickens and some rabbits. Yes, there's a little of everything down here, especially on Saturdays. Saturdays is the big day when all the stars are full, and it's
musicians come down.
That's right. No, it's a wonderful experience.
Buskers,
yes,
yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You have 80 vendors, and excuse me, Dan, for interrupting. 80 vendors?
Right.
Wow.
Like, it's probably been about 20 years ago. So I'm going down and buying stuff, and all of a sudden, this person says, come here, come here, come here. He said, we got something different for you. And I said, oh, really? Okay, what is it, raccoon or something else? This is, pulls out a hairless dog. It was a little dog. And I was just like, it must have been, because I know people were going to say, no, it wasn't a dog, it was a raccoon. This looked like it was barking at one time, I got to tell you. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to eat that. Right. But do you think that occurs, or no?
It doesn't happen nearly as much as it did a while back. I mean,
in the old days.
Yeah,
they do have hot dogs. But that's not made out of dog.
Right, right. Now it's pretty well policed by the health department, and so everybody that comes down here to sell anything has to, get all their permits certified through them. So it's not a free for all anymore.
It isn't.
Right.
No more dog meat.
No more dog. That's right. That's right.
Well, this is it. Soulard Market, and if you come down here, for goodness sakes, go to Norton Cajun Corner and visit it. It's one of these places that's, if you don't go there often, it's off the beaten path. No, it really isn't. It's very easy to get to.
Yeah, it's on the north side of the market.
Yes, and I got to tell you, there's all kinds of fresh fruit, vegetables, and everything else. Stockpile it.
Here's homemade sausage, Dan. You'd like that.
Oh my goodness.
And the spice shop.
Oh, I can smell it from here.
Yeah. Yes, I'd like to
smell it
go
from
in
across
there.
the street.
So everybody in St. Louis knows where Soulard Market is.
I would hope. All right.
If you're St. Louis, then you know Soulard.
That's right.
Yes. Well, anything else, Mother?
Not right here, no.
What do we learn today?
We have Bill, we have this nice gentleman here, Tom.
Well, thank you.
That was a good background.
Yes, we appreciate you coming down and giving a little history. We always need a little public relations help.
Yes.
So thank you. That's right.
Nice seeing you.
Same here.
From Soulard Market, we are going to go someplace else, but don't turn the channel. This man right here spent the entire morning. Please, for his sake, don't turn the channel. We'll have other good stuff coming up. All right, going. Hurt in a car wreck or hurt on the job? Call Brown & Brown now for a risk-free consultation. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
Questions? We'll answer them for you, risk-free. At Brown & Brown, we'll fight for you and your legal rights.
We only get paid if you collect. So if you've been injured in a car wreck or hurt on the job, call Brown & Brown now. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
And at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
we'll come to you.
Hi, I'm Ed Brown, attorney at Brown & Brown. A lot of people have asked me why I wear an eye patch. Well, when I was young, I hurt my eye, and that's why I wear a patch. I know what it is like to overcome a lifelong injury. So if you've been hurt in a car wreck, on the job or elsewhere, give Brown & Brown a call. In Missouri, dial all 3s, 333-3333. In Illinois, dial all 8s, 888-8888. And remember, at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
Mother, you want to start?
This is the Lemp mansion that Dan and I are standing in front of on Lemp Street. And it was built in 1768.
Make it, you're 100 years off, Mom. 1868.
Okay, so let's scrap that.
So 1868, so go ahead.
1868, Mr. Lemp. He was from Germany, and he started a store here. I found this interesting. He made his own vinegar. And it was just a country store, started right here. And then it went through many renovations after he built the house here. And what else do we?
Oh, it was a boarding house for some time.
Yeah.
And boarding houses in St. Louis, that was very common. And you still see, if you go to Soulard neighborhood, you'll see behind the building the boarding homes still. And that was very typical because a lot of immigrants came and they didn't have any money. So what they did was they'd have a boarding house where you'd work for food or do chores around, and then you propelled yourself up. And you know, it's like having children. I mean, back then, if you're immigrants, it was very difficult to acclimate. So what they do, they acclimated around the parish, like
the German, the Lutheran church here helped the Germans. My ancestors, part of my family, were from Germany, and they lived on streets like Benton Street and St. Louis Avenue and Gratiot Street. Of course, that's French, but they had boarding houses on those streets, and that's where they lived when they first got off the boat down at the landing. So there was always someone there to help them. I guess they would give them some money, like the Lutheran Society. They were a big help.
The Catholics.
And the Catholics also, yes, I'm sure they helped with the immigrants. So they did have help, you know, they weren't just coming into something totally blank. They did have some help. And Lemp, look at that, building a house like that.
And
they did
in
well.
World War I, it was kind of interesting. They changed the names of the streets. You remember they used to have like Kaiser Street, and then all of a sudden when they were fighting Germany, oh, we can't have that anymore. Right. So we went. But I have a little bit of a story. I always do. But
good.
So anyway, my brother Ed gets coupons or something like that.
Groupons.
All right. So we get a free dinner, and we can spend the night at the Lemp Mansion. So I said, oh, this is going to be kind of cool, you know, we're going to be here. And then, so anyway, unbeknownst to me, there was a Christmas party, and all these people were wandering around the house, knocking on the door. Hey, are there any ghosts in there? And I didn't open the door. I'm not a ghost.
And Dan, when did it become a restaurant? I can't think of the date.
I'd say probably about 1980, right around there, 80, 83. And right down from here was a haunted house, another haunted house. And then underneath, there are caves underneath here. And that's where the brewer was manufactured. And that's the reason why they had it underneath with the caves, because it was nice and cool down there for the beverages. Now, Prohibition came around, and well, a lot of people, how do I beat the system?
Yeah.
I mean, the Germans used to just put it in the bathtub and do all this stuff.
Right, right.
And then you drink some swill beer. Thank goodness, we have it easy now.
We were told that there's a manhole somewhere where there's access down to the caves, so they're still down there.
I'm not going to climb down there. The 13-year-old Dan Brown would have done it, but I got flat feet.
No.
I don't make that excuse for the entire. I would, but I got flat feet. You know, what does that have to do with your aptitude? I don't know. Hey.
But this was called the Demonil House, and it used to have beautiful sights to the river and all the trees out there. But now you see Highway 55 and all the rooftops from the businesses. But just think back then when the Demonils and the Lemps had the beautiful, beautiful vantage points of being up here overlooking the river.
Yes.
Great.
Those were the days. What's the theme song?
Well, I don't know, but they didn't realize the beauty they had, did they?
No, I do. I think they did. I mean, for goodness sakes, when you're rich and famous, it should be a pretty easy path to lifehood. You know, the old age. Unfortunately, you know, some people
enjoy it,
and some people don't enjoy it. I would enjoy it. Hey, let me say this. I know by experience, when I'm stranded at an airport and they're bringing out the cots, and you're gonna sleep at the airport, and all of a sudden you whip out the American Express card, and you get 20 minutes later, you're wiggling your toes with the remote control in your own room. I kind of like that. I'd take door number 2, please. All right, Ma, anything else to say?
I can't think of anything else. It's a beautiful day to be doing this. And it's still a beautiful sight. All these renovated homes around here, you know, that took a lot of work, but they look great.
And you still don't look a day over 60, Mother.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm 82. Don't forget my birthday. I'll be 83 in 2 months. Don't forget my birthday.
I never. How would a son forget his beloved mother's birthday?
I never let him forget. I tell him in advance. In about 2 months, I give him advance to where we can go out to eat.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right. Well, from the Lemp Mansion and the Demenil place. Demenil. Yeah, very beautiful French say goodbye
name.
And farewell, and we're gonna go to another place. So, Mom, would you encourage the audience to come aboard?
Oh, yes, yes. Don't tune us out. Don't change your channel like Dan says.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Hi, Dan.
And Ed, here from Brown & Brown. We were born and raised in Spanish Lake, went to grade school at Twillman, high school at Hazelwood East, college at Mizzou, and law school at St. Louis U.
By now, I hope you also like our infomercials, where we explore St. Louis and beyond, featuring our wonderful mother.
So if you've been hurt in a car crash or hurt on the job, call us now.
In Missouri, dial all 3s, 333-3333. In Illinois, dial all 8s, 888-8888. And at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
we'll come to you.
At Brown & Brown, our phone numbers are easy to remember. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s. So if you've been in a car wreck or hurt on the job, call Brown & Brown for a risk-free consultation.
At Brown & Brown, we'll give you the personal attention that you deserve. We only get paid if you collect. So if you've been in a car wreck, hurt on the job, call us now for a risk-free consultation.
In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
And at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
we'll come to you. All right, Mom, do you want to start on this one?
I have a grandson who is a Marine, and I think he would enjoy, when he watches this, hearing my little poem, and he taught me this. We are Marines. Our color is red, to show the world the blood we've shed. We are U.S. Marines. Our color is blue, to show the world we are true. We are Marines. Our color is tan, to show the world where we stand. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
But what do you know about the Soldiers Memorial? And that's where we're at. We're right in front of the Soldiers Memorial Military Museum. And what do you know about that, Mother?
Well, it was dedicated in October 14th, 1936. That's the day after I was born.
But talk about World War I.
I will. This started as a World War I memorial, and built in 1936. The war had been over for almost 20 years. And yeah, World War I, pretty significant. It was, you know, we came in April of 1917 and fought until it ended in November of 1918. And one of the things I found interesting was one of the places the soldiers went was Russia. The Russians never forgave us for that, because we wanted to defeat the Bolsheviks, end communism, and the Stalin and Khrushchev, and they always reminded us, hey, you guys invaded us, we didn't invade you. So,
which
and
is
one of the they may mark off some of the places where they fought, and one of them is Russia.
Another one's Siberia.
Siberia?
Yeah, they
How
went.
many Siberians fought in
Vladivostok.
the war? I think.
No, we went to
Oh,
Siberia.
we went to Siberia. That's
Yeah,
right, because of the
Americans.
Alaska and the Appalachian.
Yeah, Vladivostok.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be the war to end all wars,
Yeah.
and of course, you know, every year afterwards there was some sort of war conflict. 1919, 1920.
Yeah.
Every year there was conflict, and the British, of course, just recently, you read about that, didn't you, Jim?
What's that?
It was their first year without any armed conflict or any wars or anything else in like 400 years or
Oh.
something like that. Now, please don't double check and say it's only 345 years. It's close. I mean, the British.
Aren't
yeah,
they with us in Iraq anymore, or did they
I
withdraw?
don't know.
Yeah.
That I couldn't tell you. They're in Afghanistan, I'm sure, and that kind of stuff.
Well, this is the memorial,
Yes.
Soldiers Memorial, and of course on Veterans Day in November they have a big parade down here, and Memorial Day, and so we pay tribute to the soldiers, and we have a Marine in the family,
Yes.
and
Stephen.
Stephen,
Yes.
yeah, and
And Mom,
very proud of him.
Your husband, my father.
Yes.
And-
United States Navy.
Yeah.
He was a supply corps officer
4 years, right?
aboard a destroyer, the USS Laffey, 724.
So he served his country well, and
Yes.
then after he left the service, IBM hired him, and he had a good career for, what, 30 years at
Oh,
IBM?
35 and a half years, I believe.
35 and a half years.
Long
And all
time.
those years in St. Louis.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Here we are.
And when
St.
he-
Louis, bred and born, and
That's true.
we've been here the whole time.
Yes. But when he interviewed at IBM, they liked the fact that he was a former Marine or
Supply
U.S.
officer?
Supply Corps officer for the U.S. Navy.
That should be. I mean, to tell you, you were proud of him, and you were having babies at the time too.
Yeah, 4.
4 boys in 5 years.
Right. So he had a very good career with IBM, and also previous to that career, he had a career with the U.S. Navy.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we honor him at the Soldiers Memorial.
We honor him foremost.
And all the vets that
And all the
served.
veterans in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
so that, there's rows and rows and rows of casualties in there, and it's just, if you haven't come here already, come on down. Even if you're not a veteran or anything, I'd encourage you to come on down, because it's a really telling song, a
Yeah,
story.
they've really improved the look of this square here.
And the inside too. It's all computerized and all that kind of good stuff.
And
So, go ahead.
I might add that your dad's best friend, your dad was best man at his wedding, and he was killed in Vietnam. His plane was shot down over Da Nang.
And we
So,
visited his kids, I remember, afterwards.
yeah,
Well, that was
we
very
did.
sad. She had 6 kids, didn't she?
She had, I think, 5.
Five.
5.
5 kids.
Yes.
His name?
His widow.
Jim
Jim
DeWitt.
Witt.
Yeah.
And we visited the wall, Vietnam Wall in Arlington, Virginia, and I was able to take a dry rub of his name on the wall and bring a couple copies back. One I gave to his widow and one to her mother, and I kept one. It's a memory. It went into his book that we have kept for him.
But they never recovered his body.
No, but they did go in and search years later. You have to commend the military for doing that. They searched and searched and searched, but it's all jungle.
Well, from the history perspective, let's do something in the current. How's that sound? We're going
Fine
to talk
with
about
me.
Brother Ed and I, the criminal courts building is right across the street.
Right
and we're
next
gonna,
to the
we got-
Keel Center,
and
Enterprise Center.
We are going to tell some stories about criminal matters. Does that sound like fun? It's only fun. It's not fun, but you know, it is some good stories. I will say that. here's a tickler, okay? So you don't change the channel. So my client comes in and he's got a big pot leaf right there on his t-shirt. And I said, look, you can't go in front of the judge with this big pot leaf. And he goes, heck, I can. I said, no, please, just do something. So he goes, okay, I'll take care of it. So what he did was he took off the t-shirt, turned it inside out, and the pot leaf was just still there. And I said, oh, what the heck? What am I going to do? So that's just a teaser of one of many stories.
Yeah, we got a million of them.
All right, so from Brown and Brown, more stories to come. And Ma Brown, anything else to add?
Oh, I don't think so. I get upset when I think of Jim Witt being killed in Vietnam.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
It just unnerves me.
Sure. Horrible.
But it happened.
Well, for more good news, let's have some storytelling. How's that sound,
All right,
Edward?
let's do it.
All right. Don't turn the channel. My mom's gonna be here soon. This is the anchor, and this is the anchor dedicated to the American merchant marine seamen and naval armed guard who lost or risked their lives for our country in the World War II and all wars of this century. And all those American merchant marine and Navy seamen standing by to deliver the goods through the world's oceans today. Remembered by SS Samuel Parker and dedicated on May 22nd, 2004. The anchor chain surrounding this anchor was acquired and presented to SS Samuel Parker Chapter, American Merchant Marine Veterans through the efforts of Michael Sacco, President of the Seafarers International Union AFL-CIO. This is dedicated to all civilians, seafarers who work and make their living on the ships of the U.S. Merchant Marine in peace and in war. Very nice. I mean to tell you, if you haven't come down already, come on down because there's a lot to see here in St. Louis. I mean to tell you, and a lot to learn. A lot to learn. You have to learn the past so you don't repeat the future. Does that sound right? No. Yes, I think that is right. Hopefully. If I got it mixed up, sometimes my brain is mixed up. Very seldom though. All right. Thank you for all the seamen and the Navy veterans, and salute. Well, no, I can't salute because I was never an officer or never in the Navy, so I will not do so. All right. Now we're gonna go someplace else. City Hall, how about that?